where we help you effectively reach your health and fitness goals in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of effort with the highest payout of a strong, sexy, reliable body to last a lifetime. We are joined by Dr. Darlene, chiropractor to the fabulous. She is going to help us understand that our health and fitness goals and possibly fat loss goals are not just about what we can do, meaning exercise, and what we put in, meaning dieting. So, Dr. Darlene, what does the nervous system have to do with this?
Well, before we do that, and you guys can do this at home too if you're interested, take a dime, just grab a dime from your pocket and just put it on the back of your hand there and just forget about it for a second and let it sit there. I want you to do that right there, okay? So that means now Laura is effectively paralyzed from the right shoulder down.
Which actually is semi-true.
Okay. So the question is, why is a chiropractor here today? Why is a chiropractor talking to you? What does my work have to do with the work you are doing to improve your body movement and improve your health and well-being? Yes? Yeah. All right. So to answer that question, I'm going to take you right back to the beginnings of what it is I do. I'm a chiropractor. A lot of people think about a chiropractor as the doctor who cracks your spine, which is true. But more importantly than that, what I do is I deal with optimizing your nervous system. The nervous system is the master control system of the entire body. Every system, your digestive, your reproductive, your vascular, every system in the body, all the tissues, every cell in your body is regulated by the nervous system.
It's the governor.
It's the governor, right?
Yeah.
So you've got two different parts of the nervous system. You have your central nervous system, which is your brain and your spinal cord that runs down this way. And then you've got everything else, which is the peripheral nervous system, which is approximately 45 miles of nerves in each adult body, which I find to be amazing and slightly weird.
It's all
yeah. Oh!
So we'll edit it. I'm gonna edit it.
So that's the nervous system, right? That's the system that I primarily work with. Anytime you have any type of functional movement, such as exercise or even just your day-to-day movements, it requires input from the nervous system. Your body doesn't just move on its own. The nervous system has to tell the body what to do, and that's where I come in.
Well, that's cool. I don't know if you know this, but in our workout we do a lot of nervous system type exercises because a lot of times when people they don't work out a lot of times because they just feel off and uncoordinated, and they're just like, it's not for me. But we do actually do some exercises that are really helpful for that. So just FYI, but yeah.
And that's true for any type of exercise. If you want to engage the body, you have to first engage the nervous system. You have to get the master control system working and talking to the peripheral system, or else you're exercising your dysfunction, which probably not good.
Yeah, and that's like one of our priorities is movement patterns, because when you're exercising in a dysfunctional movement pattern, you're just cementing,
ding, ding, ding,
oh, I like that. You're cementing an injury, like you're just setting yourself for disaster. So if we have our brain and then going down to our spinal cord as our central nervous system, how do we get from brain to hands? Like, how do we make that communication? What is it?
It's an interesting transition. It's a very long story. The nervous system is remarkably complex, so it's hard to make it simple. But basically, the nerve roots, which are the parts of the nervous system that come out at every level between the vertebrae, they are the transition between the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. And they can get impinged or affected or compromised at the spinal column, where the vertebrae go a little bit out of alignment. They can interfere, oh, that's actually the word we use, is interference. Okay. So we can interfere with the nerve roots and create everything downstream then from that interference. All those systems and tissues and all the cells that are affected by that particular nerve root is now operating at a less than peak efficiency. Just say it. Just say it.
Prove it.
Gotta go right there. Yes, I can prove that. That's going back to the reason we put the dime on Lauren's hand earlier. In 2001, doctors Muse and Alderson did a study that was published in the Journal of Vertebral Subluxation. which is a peer-reviewed journal. This isn't, some e-zine that's coming out being published online. It's a real magazine with real peer review, with rigorous standards. And in that study, they showed that the weight of a dime, which is 10 millimeters of mercury, on a nerve root, sitting physically that amount of pressure on the nerve root, it can decrease the efficiency of the nerve transmission by 60%. That means everything downstream from that tiny little pressure of a dime you've got right here, or anywhere on this spinal column, is going to decrease everything downstream from that by 60%. Do you want to operate at 60%? I don't want to operate at 60%. No. This level of pressure is, they're talking about a permanent, consistent, always on it pressure. The nerves are really sensitive structures.
Okay, so if we've got this like dime size amount of pressure on us, like how can we apply this right now? Like what's your top no to do for us to take care of us minimally, since we're not any of us here like dealing with something as horrible as paralysis? Like what's your top no for us to keep our nervous system in check?
The top no is what chiropractors call prolonged posture.
Okay.
And what that means is any extended posture that you're holding for any amount of time, such as, I don't know, sitting at a desk at your computer, or driving in your car, or plopping down on the couch to watch TV. All of these things leave you immobile for too long, and you get malformations in some of your ligaments. And
you can almost just see it. The proof is in the pudding.
Sure. Who hasn't gotten up from watching a movie? Like, you go to stand up, and your hips are all creaky, and your knees are all creaky, and you're like, I'm 37 years old. What is going on?
So basically, maybe we should just get up like every hour and move around.
That's exactly right. The thing that I tell my patients to do, helpful hints from Harrison, drink a lot of water. A, you'll be more hydrated, which is always good for you, and B, it'll get you up and down to the ladies' room.
bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
yes.
Our top no was prolonged sitting. What's our top yes?
It's very self-serving, of course. I'm a chiropractor. What do you think I'm going to say? But it's the only thing that I know of that really creates an environment where the joints are healthy, they're mobile, they're moving, they're nice and juicy. There's lots of cushion in those healthy joints. It keeps everything moving, and it keeps the openings along the side of the spine open, so that those nerves have plenty of space to leave without being interfered with. Regular chiropractic adjustments. A clean diet with plenty of water, regular exercise, getting enough sleep, all of those things are very important to healthy tissues, right? And that includes the nervous system. But specifically for the nervous system, get adjusted.
Get adjusted, yeah. Well, Joe Pilates, who created body contrology, is actually what he named his system, and it changed names to Pilates. He, in his book, Return to Life Through Contrology, he talks about the suppleness of your spine. He said you can be an old man at 30 because your back is stiff, or you can be a young man at 80. And I learned Pilates from Ron Fletcher. I met him when he was 83 and I was 23. And this is when I was mostly working on set and hair and makeup, and I was kind of teaching yoga and personal training on the side. And I was blown away because I'm 23 and barely keeping up with him. And he literally was on this like piece of equipment that was like half the size of a beach ball, wedged himself in it with his whole back backwards, his head's upside down. He's telling the story for like 10 minutes. And
it's humbling, isn't it?
Yeah. And so like that's like what I blacklisted myself from hair and makeup, because I didn't want to be tempted to go. I wanted to go the healthy path because I'm like, I'm 23 and I'm old, basically, is what I realized.
That's what we have. We've got people who spend their whole day sitting, and then they don't exercise, and then they drive home in the car, and then they go home and they sit again, and they're spending their entire lives, their entire waking lives sitting. And then they come into the office and they're like, Doc, I don't know why my back is killing me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I know.
Yeah. And it's the whole lifestyle.
It is.
And that's really what we're trying to do with this triple fat loss formula, because obviously we're a gym and we're going to help people lose weight, but we want people to know that there's a lot more that goes into your body than just this tissue that is really close to the skin.
Yep,
You know?
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Darling. This was great to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate it.
All right. That was awesome.